Okay, we're here today on RealAgriculture.com at CropWeek in Saskatoon. We're here with Gary Pike from Pike Management Group. Gary is the owner of Pike Management. Welcome today, Gary.
Thank you. It's good to have you here.
Okay, Gary, let's talk about some of the farm management issues that farmers or your clients are kind of going through right now as they plan for this cropping season and in the long term as well.
I think probably the main thing guys are looking at right now is how they're going to manage in an environment where we've almost got a glut of wheat, and having to have a cereal is going to be the issue, is to find a replacement for wheat in their rotations. And we can see that a lot of fellows are probably going to go back-to-back canola pressing rotations. Lentils are going to be from Grand Prairie to Portage La Prairie. In a lot of places they shouldn't be, and that's going to be an issue. Although the lentil market is far better grounded than I think a lot of people think. If you want to know where to send lentils, you want to find out where they're sending dairy cows. Because the IMF in their lending practices wants countries to improve the health of the population that they're lending money to, and hence increasing calcium consumption. The easiest way is to increase dairy, and this is really the founding reason why red lentil production in Canada can move up significantly, because Turkey just moved off of the IMF list, but they accomplished what they had to before they did it, and that was to start a very large dairy industry, and that is predominant throughout the entire Middle East. I do not think our carryover of red lentils is going to be terribly significant. We're going to maybe have 20-25% that's unspoken for as of today, and the export season is not done. So yes, lentils, where you can grow lentils, get your education, know what you're doing, and move on.
So do we, canola, of course, is the other crop that provides some profitability. Where do you think that's going to? Are we going to see a significant increase there and get closer to that 17 million like we thought we might have last year?
We're going to move up in acres, I think. Not that amount. I don't think we can. But I think guys are going to rethink the canola side. And it's going to depend a little bit on price. The profitability word is one that really is all costs taken away from revenue. The key to managing that is making sure that your fixed costs are in order, and a lot of farms are going to have to take a second look in that area. Efficiencies and scale are two things that we at PMG spend a lot of time looking at.
Right.
And if you haven't got those in place, there's no solution in the market.
Yeah.
And it'll be a cruel, cruel reality unless you've got those fixed costs tied down to probably, if you're over $100 an acre for everything other than seed, fertilizer, and chemical and crop insurance, you better look in the mirror, because you're not necessarily going to be competitive.
How concerned do you think that farmers should be about interest rates going up?
I'm not terribly concerned in the short term here. I don't think we're going to see a lot. I mean, I grew up in a period of time when every Thursday you'd hear how it went up 2 or 3%. Now, we talk in quarters, and yeah, we're going to see some gyrations, but we're still going to be a petrodollar. And I think you're going to see the dollar stay close to par, flop around within probably 2 cents either side of that. And that's going to keep our interest rates really quite status quo. And I think the Canadian system is in really good shape. We're in much better shape than our friends to the south. But so much cash has been printed that any time a bank was to move to, say, a 5% interest rate, they will be flooded with cash, and there's cash looking for a home. So I think there's two sides to that equation. People are saying we're going to have huge inflation because demand's kicking in. I'm saying once that starts, the money won't necessarily be spent, it'll be put in the bank. And that will temper it, and I think we'll manage it through that way.
So we've talked a little bit about cropping for this year. We talked a little bit about interest rates and currency. Is there anything else that's kind of farmers should be thinking about going through 2010?
Well, I think again it'll be to control our EHRs. That's our equipment hormonal response.
Well, and we're at a trade show, so that's really difficult.
and that's a big one. And thinking about their scale. 2010 is going to be a year, because of all the consolidation that's going on, that you better be rethinking where your efficiencies are with 80, 70, 90-foot drills. What is efficient? Are we still at 100 acres a foot? Should we be 125?
Right.
Depending on area. There's a lot of changes out there in those efficiencies, and if you've got excess efficiency, excess capacity, you better get it to work.
So in your mind, from an efficiency standpoint, do you have an opinion on the ideal farm size in Western Canada?
I think we're between 6,000 and 7,000 is a minimum.
Okay.
Seeded.
Yeah.
And that's a minimum.
Yeah.
And if you're going to grow, you need to grow in multiples of that.
Right. So
and that's very difficult, because then you go in 7 to 14 to 21, and now those numbers are hard to do, because those are big blocks of land.
Right.
It takes a lot of capital, and I think the other area everybody should be thinking about is their credit. The data platform and the database that you work on at Pike Management with a lot of your clients, you got a pretty good, a very good base there. What are some of the characteristics of your most successful farms that you guys work with? Young, and because they believe in the economic model, they have the confidence to move forward. Probably the biggest holdback is people who can't garner the confidence to make those kinds of changes. They may be multi-location. We have some that have said, in order to reduce my risk, I'll farm 400 miles apart.
Right.
2 locations. And as you start doing that, you can actually manage your risk better than any other program around.
Yeah. Okay, well, Gary, thank you very much for joining us today, and wish you all the best luck in the future.
Thank you.